What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Live with Lindy. It is MLB research time. We've got a massive 13-game slate here on this Friday, all starting a little bit later, so gives us plenty of time to be able to take into account some lineups, take into account some moves and some numbers, some of which we were very much ahead of, which I'm excited about. And I'm excited about it being July 3rd. I know a lot of people that have today off that are probably going to be chilling. We might have a smaller crew than normal. Not sure. But I'm excited for it. Eric Lindy, well, Dakota, I'm always paying for my sins. Always. Repent, I tell you, to myself. Afternoon, Lindy. What's going on? What's going on, my dude? How you doing? Yo. Feels good to be here. Feels good to talk some baseball. Feel pretty good about this slate. Feel good about the bets we already got down. I felt that way a lot of times here, and it's been kind of back and forth. And then last night, I thought I was going to get wrecked yesterday. Just home runs flat again. I mean, down to 22 units of profit now after being up over 30 units of profit on home runs. But hey, six of them on the card here today, but got bailed out by some soccer. The Dodgers came back from infinity down. Some good things ended up happening when it was least expected. Oh, and Casey, I really don't even want to talk about that. That pissed me off so much. Dan and Doy, shout out Switzerland. Always nice to be able to hit a plus 330 goal score to really kind of buoy your day. That came out of nowhere. It's an IOU. It's as good as money, or in this case, as good as a home run. But we've got a lot of home runs on the card right from the get-go, and thank you to the Dodgers. Thank you to Bryce Miller for being an absolute GOAT. Ended up having a really nice evening after a pretty putrid morning. So I'm kind of looking to make money from pillar to post today. That should be fun. James Wood was somehow above 300. I don't know how, but he was. My God, what an easy play that was. He was 300 across the board. That made no sense. C. James was plus 450. What? Sure, I'll take that. Luis Garcia Jr., plus 475. All right. We got a heat wave coming in. A heat wave across the East. Oh my God. Drink water. We got Spencer Steer. Somehow somebody posted on ProfitX for a big number. Why don't you go scoop that liquidity for me? Go scoop that, because everything else is 400 and down. And look at this Sal Stewart CLV. I mean, good Lord almighty. Can we get a couple of home runs across the board with some of this CLV and actually convert it? That would be great. Dylan Cease, absolute nuke. Absolute nuke from last night. Easy CLV. Easy game. New York Mets and Braves. Not getting CLV. So shout out me for sucking in that department. Reed Detmers. Yahtzee. Just absolute Yahtzee. Man, it feels good to be a gangster. We'll see. There might be something that creeps back up there again. And then the last play, this was not from the video. Michael Conforto was plus money last night. And I went through the St. Louis bullpen. And this is what everybody does every night, right? You're just like, all right, let's see what we're dealing with in this situation. A lot of guys who ended up rolling, but Justin Brule is not going to be available today. That means there is one lefty in the pen, and this is somebody that they've utilized in like a closing role or like setup role. I think that opened up the Cubs. These Cubs lefties are better plays than they typically are, and we were able to get some CLV on that. Now, these are things that hopefully from watching this show that you're routinely doing in your own process. But Michael Conforto is going to be in this lineup starting against a righty and Andre Palante. And he's very ground ball heavy, and it's wind out in Wrigley again. But the thing is, when you have one lefty who's now pitched 2 of 3 days, and this guy's pitched, coming off of 40 pitches yesterday, there's no way he's going to play. So I went through Pete Crow Armstrong, I went through Michael Conforto, I went through Michael Busch. You had Busch and Pete Crow Armstrong unbettable at their numbers. Completely unbettable at their numbers. it opened up Michael Conforto, in my opinion, and it would appear that my opinion was correct because I'm getting CLV on this one as well. Not a huge play because am I the biggest Michael Conforto guy? Probably not. Got off to a really, really hot start to the season, and then obviously wind out in Wrigley has been going well for a couple of these guys, in particular Dansby Swanson, but the pinch hit risk goes way down on Michael Conforto, who's kind of your new Moises Ballesteros in that lineup. And this is what you're paying me for. This is why over a long-term sample size, I'm going to win in baseball forever. I will. Because if a number, again, PCA and Michael Busch couldn't touch them. Almost played Ian Happ, actually, which, again, Ian Happ has been AIDS, so there's that. But Michael Conforto doesn't seem like much because it's only a quarter unit, but I felt worthy of putting some money down in such a place. And look at where this line has now moved to. Minus 105 still at BetMGM. I think that's playable. I think you are locking in 3 at-bats, and it's pretty unlikely that he doesn't get 4. Are you going to use Jojo Romero to face Michael Conforto, or are you going to use him to face PCA and Michael Busch? I'm going to argue that the priority is probably not Michael Conforto when it comes to making sure you're facing a lefty. And I say that now, and we just had a situation like this with Owen Casey yesterday, one lefty and Bernardino in the pen for Colorado. They, of course, let Paulie take an at-bat against Michael Lorenzen and then bring in the lefty, which was very, very annoying. But there's a part of me where it's like, all right, you know that that's part of the risk and it's kind of baked in. And 375, you've got him inside of 300 if he gets 4 at-bats. If he gets 3 at-bats, it's a little bit north of that. So you go from like 280, 340, and then, well, 375. We got the 2 at-bats, which made it very negative EV at the end of the day. I'm not going to call it a mistake. It was more of like, how did Colorado handle that? It was pretty horrific, actually. And then Heriberto Hernandez has to take a righty-righty matchup and was completely dead in that, even though he's been all right against righties. So I don't completely besmirch him, but that's why I went to the home run market. It's not like I played him in HRR. It's not like I played him in some other market. I played Michael Conforto in HRR because I just don't think Jojo Romero is coming in a 5th inning in any capacity. So feel pretty good about this play and feel pretty good about the process that lands us there. Why is his pinch hit risk down? I just broke it down. Did you not see that? How did I not have Jake McCarthy? I'm the Jake McCarthy whisperer. How am I not getting Jake McCarthy there? Because I'm an idiot. No, I like Max Meyer a lot. I didn't have that in. He did have him in the past, correct. But I can only deal with Michael Conforto the way that he is treated now, which is there's definite pinch hit risk if a lefty comes in. But just one lefty that will be available for today. Justin Brule pitched 40 pitches yesterday. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, all right, Jojo Romero. Jojo was a man. He thought he was a man. He could come in earlier, and this could completely torch it. But again, I think you have your lefty for later in the game to deal with PCA Michael Busch when you only have one available there. So it really, really helps Michael Conforto at that price. It's one of the huge edges that still exists in baseball is just being able to really pay attention to the news, really pay attention to what just happened with the bullpen and to make stands, calculated stands in spots like this. Because it's a very big difference between 2 at-bats for Michael Conforto and 4 at-bats for Michael Conforto. That is twice the number of at-bats. So, yeah. Feel good about the card so far, but there's a couple of other spots that I do want to dive into, and we can start here with Pittsburgh, Washington, where I have 3 home runs played on the Washington side. Pretty heavy stance, that's for sure. But we're going to have ourselves a lot a lot of plays over the course of this weekend. Going to be very pick'em centric too. July 40th, 40% off a month of the Lindy and Friends Discord. You can sign up for that down at the link below. Not going to do the research show tomorrow, July 4th. I don't think anybody's going to be tuning in for that one. Don't think anybody's going to be tuning in for that one. So Sunday we'll be back in business. Going to be out and about tomorrow too. Gotta bring the kiddos, one kid, child. Well, I guess I'm a child too, but I guess the kiddos will be at the in-laws. So there's that, but 40% off a month of the Lindy and Friends Discord. Would love to see you guys in there. Going to be running it all the way through until July 5th. So take advantage. Baby Lindy 50. I'll throw this in too. Speaking of the kiddo, 50% off your first month or week of the tools at Odd Shopper. We're going to be utilizing this throughout the program. There's also a 7-day free trial. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff to take advantage of. We got this beauty rocking in the free world. A bajillion markets to be combing through in the MLB on a day in, day out basis. Lots of places to find an edge. You can do some of that work yourself. Calculate, just group it by edge. Take a look at the true odds, group it by true odds, and find yourself some pick'em goodness too. You have underdog prize picks over here. Got better, dabble, sleeper. A lot of places where you can kind of comb through, find some of these edges, take advantage. Not a lot left on the home run board. Glad we got to some of that last night. Had a feeling. Trevor Rogers is off the board at prize picks. That's very hurtful. Under 5.5. Wish I had taken that under 5.5. I have 2 home runs going against him. And, he was my boy coming into this year, but a piñata is a piñata. And he's pitched better over the last month, but I don't really care. It's a lefty in Cincinnati, and it should be playing very, very small. Should be playing very small. But comeback Keller. No whiff. Been doing a decent job against barrels, but the hard hit and the launch, that's negative. There's going to be negative regression on a 6% barrel percentage. There just is. There's no way around that. And Foster Griffin's pitched better than this 10.4% barrel percentage than some of the other metrics because, the hard hit he's been pretty minimal on. So a guy who has a 13-degree launch angle, 37.4% hard hit, next to a 13-degree launch angle, 41.5% hard hit. Yeah, we expect that to go up. We expect that to go down. That's just variance. Both have a lot of batted balls in play against, so decent sample size that we have on each, but it'd be very, very strange to me. The righties against Trevor Rogers. Did you not see? I went through Sal Stewart and Spencer Steer. I went through the entire card to start off this show. Lakota, you've been here for a long time, my friend. You've been here for a long time. You should know that by now, how I do this, how I do this show. I always kick off going through the plays that I've already made. I've never talked about reverse splits for Trevor Rogers. When did I talk about reverse splits for Trevor Rogers? When? He's never had reverse splits. Never. He's always given up. He's been a strict righty power against lefty for Trevor Rogers. You have to be thinking of somebody else. I've never talked about reverse splits for Trevor Rogers because they've never happened. He strikes out lefties at a way higher clip. He strikes out righties at basically no clip, which is why we want Spencer Steer and Sal Stewart. You are obviously confusing something else with something else. I've never once talked about Trevor Rogers reverse splits because they don't exist. I've talked about liking Trevor Rogers last season. For Trevor Rogers, we go to the Orioles because that's how the alphabet works. We're going to go to 2025 and we're going to split the seasons here. 2025, the stuff wasn't as good as it's been this year. the overall stuff. But look at these results, man. This is actually insane. 2025, 0.90 whip, no walks, more strikeouts, unbelievable at limiting power. Now, 1 home run per 9 is not a high number. Not typically somebody would say, I want to make 2 home run bets against them. But it's price and probability. And you're getting over 400 for Sal Stewart and Spencer Steer. That's insane. Way more batted balls in play. Way more average. 293 BABIP, that's probably pretty unlucky. But the strikeout stuff has gone way down. And if you're not going to strike out guys who have massive power and the ball's going to get put in play, bad things are going to happen. And he's ran very poorly in left on base percentage. But the Sierra and the xFIP and everything across the board has just gotten drastically worse than a sub-2 ERA last season. And a 3.75 Sierra, which is basically saying skill independent. What are the 3 things a pitcher is in control of? Because batted balls get put in play all the time that are ground balls. That's going to be more helpful. And then doubles, flyouts, things of that nature. That's going to be very volatile based on where it's hit, based on your fielders, based on everything else. Obviously, Colton Cowser, still mad at Miguel Vargas home run. That would have been fun. Hit 5 consecutive on him. But the thing for Trevor Rogers is that what you're in charge of are strikeouts, walks, and home runs. Those are 3 things that a pitcher can have some kind of control over. Not giving up obliterated fly balls, getting strikeouts, and not walking guys. And he has been worse across the board. Not much worse in the walk department, but when you have 256 average against you, your whip, life is going to get a lot worse. Life's going to get a lot worse. So life's been worse for Trevor Rogers. Over the last couple of starts, again, just want to point out that he's been better. Much, much better over his last few starts. Sub-1 ERA, Sierra more in line with being a really good pitcher. And yet, it is better than plus 400 for 2 righties against him in the best ballpark for power in 94-degree weather. I will take that. I will take that every single time. I take it you're not a fan of Suarez. Ranger Suarez, I think he's fine. I've attacked him a couple of times purely because it's not as good. Yeah, this is insane. It does deserve an honorable mention. It does, because Elly De La Cruz has always been stronger from the left side than the right side. And this year, what the shit? What the shit, dude? Look at this last year. Look at this in 2024. And look at it this year. I mean, a completely different dude from the right side. It's come out of absolutely nowhere, because this has always been, I've taken a lot of Elly De La Cruz unders in my lifetime of him from the right side. I've only done it once this year, and it did not go well. He hit a ball very far. It was in Texas. He hit a ball very far. Elly De La Cruz has typically been awful from the right side, and this year he's hitting the ball 96 miles per hour with launch, 404 BABIP, a little bit high, but 423 WOBA, 329 ISO. These are just ridiculous numbers. Now, players are allowed to improve. It's not like Elly De La Cruz has been around for absolutely ever. 2023, first season? Abhorrent from the right side. This was his culmination of 3 years from the right side. And this year, I mean, it is day and night. Now, 86 plate appearances, probably in the offseason being like, all right, I'm a switch hitter. I got to figure something out. I think Jason Dominguez has been pretty good in that department too. Today, going to be facing Paredes. So different, but let's pull up a southpaw for my Twins. So Rogers. Jason Dominguez. This is so improved for Dominguez. It's kind of ridiculous too. Not nearly as good as Ellie, obviously, but like, if you are the Yankees, you are jumping up and down because you had to pinch hit him nonstop versus righties last year, or versus lefties last year, from the right side where Jason Dominguez would have to be batting. Took a bunch of unders on him too last year. Haven't been able to do as much of it. These guys have really, really improved some of those splits. So I love that you bring that up because that means you know ball. You absolutely know ball. Ellie is awful this year. We have different terms of awful. He has been a lot better than what you're saying. Awful is not the right word. Ellie De La Cruz has not been awful this year. That is not correct. Has he been one of the top 10 hitters in baseball? Absolutely not. Has he been impactful for winning still? Very much so. Just pull up his WAR. 2.4 WAR at the halfway point of the season. Not so bad. 121 WRC plus, best of his career. 272, 339, 485. Pretty damn good. 357 WOBA, best of his career. 359 xWOBA, best of his career. You and I have different opinions of what awful is, obviously. Because he is still very, very, very good. Ellie is a generational talent. He can steal upwards of 70 bags in a season. Now, this has definitely fallen off. No question. But he's only played 67 of their, 82 games, 83 games? I don't love the stolen bases have fallen off, but I don't think people realize too, Ellie was never hitting 30, 35 jacks in a season. He's never done that. But he adds a lot in terms of overall productiveness. 213 ISO. I mean, you got to reevaluate what you think is awful. Did he fuck up a home run card for you one time? In a baseball game, it's always more likely somebody doesn't hit a home run than hits a home run. Did he not steal a base when you needed him to? It's always more likely he doesn't steal a base than steals a base in a game. Price and probability, but to call him awful is just that is a ridiculous thing to say. You are really off ALS. I'm sorry. And I like you. I've just seen you in the streets. You've been here. You really need to reevaluate what you think is good and bad. Whereas props, I've stayed away from. He doesn't end up on the card a lot for me because he has very short prices. He's expected to do a lot of really good things. I tend to play his unders more, and I've typically played his unders when he's batting from the right side. But Ellie's at 2.5 plus 120. It's just an untenable number. He is priced like one of the best players in baseball. And he is one of the most talented players in baseball. His batting, 121 WRC plus is really, really, really good. It's not bad. Does he strike out too much? Sure. Has he not stolen enough bases this year relative to what you would want from Elly De La Cruz on your team? Sure. But man, he has not been bad. And compared to other seasons, this is the best season he's ever had. From the plate, not the best season he's ever had in terms of run production. It will not be his best WAR season when it's all said and done, unless he goes ballistic in the second half of the season. 6.5 WAR, especially what he added defensively in that season. Yeah, that's just a wild take. You are wrong. What we've learned based on this is that you're just wrong. It's okay. It's okay to be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. One of the things that is underappreciated about this world that we live in today is that it's okay to be wrong. And in fact, you grow from being wrong. And you're obviously wrong about this. There's nothing. We all have biases too. We watch baseball. Somebody disappoints us in a big spot. But like, what's predictive, what's not? What's predictive is that Elly De La Cruz is definitely somebody you want on your damn baseball team. Like, you want Elly De La Cruz on your baseball team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The guy is 6'6" with speed and bat speed and does so many things. Exactly. I'm not even going to put it on the screen, but like, that's what I'm getting at. Like, people have to be right all the time. And that's just a ridiculous thing to want for yourself or anything else. Wow. You're wrong. I don't know what you want me to like. I can look at stats all I want, but like, what else are we looking at other than stats? Like, this is a game driven on stats. Like, this is a game that is very stats driven. It's always been stats driven. Why did batting average exist forever? Why did keeping track of home runs exist forever? We just have more context for it than we've ever had before. We have more ways of playing optimally than we've ever had before. But it's always been a number-centric game. Babe Ruth, then Hank Aaron, then Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. It used to just be home runs. And still, that's the most interesting part of baseball when it comes down to it. Like, the thing you can do to control any game is just hit for power. It's always been something that we looked up to in our idols. And, you know, there were guys like Fred, you know, Pete Rose, McGriff. Like, there's guys that do it differently. Luis Arraez today, they do it differently, and maybe you like that more. But weighted runs created plus encapsulates just how good you are at helping your team score, at scoring yourself. And that is what it is. You play a game with a scoreboard on it. 359 xWOBA is the highest he's had in his career by 29 points. His actual WOBA, 8 points higher than it's ever been in his career. Being on base really matters, Moneyball style, but like, it's all right. It's all right. I remember a lot of things that are incorrect as well. I would have tuned in on July 4th, but I'd be looking forward to the research show for real. If you guys think you're going to, Ozzie Smith does it differently. I mean, shit, we could talk about Derek Jeter defensive stats all we want to. He obviously impacted winning. He obviously mattered a lot to his team and to the city. And I don't have metrics for such things like that. But Elly De La Cruz impacts winning in so many ways. Oh my God, I want to bet Elly home run now too. I'm not going to, because I do expect regression. I do expect regression on his righty numbers based on the last 3 years. I think it's just kind of a stay away at this point. Don't say Nicky Lopez. Don't you? I swear to God, if you say Nicky Lopez, I'll actually cry. Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez hits for power, steals bases. I mean, Jose Ramirez does everything. You guys want to go on a deep dive of these guys and their impact on winning over the years. Jose Ramirez obviously always has the platoon. This has been a down year for Jose Ramirez. 249 BABIP doesn't help. In fact, he's routinely low on the BABIP side. But he gets more balls in play. So by default, when you add more batted balls in play, there's less of a chance that luck ends up helping you out. He doesn't strike out ever. So 12% strikeout rate, 11% strikeout rate. This is elite. And something you see traditionally with those guys is they have lower BABIPs because there's less of a chance for them to have a 300, well, it would be like 600 batted ball events. Something like that. Like there's less of a chance. Like if you had 4 at-bats in 150 games, that's 600 at-bats. And if you have a 10% strikeout rate, you're only removing 60 of those at-bats. So that's 540. You have 540 batted balls in play. That's going to be more batted balls in play than Kyle Schwarber by 120, who's going to be around a 30% K rate. Now, obviously, the walk rate is another part of it. That's removing 60 at-bats there. So at the end of the day, if you have 600 at-bats over the course of 150 games, which again is low because he's going to bat more than that being a 2-hole, 3-hole guy. He's going to be closer to 750 at-bats. Like you look at this, 682, 673. So like, I'm just saying 600 for sake of going on this tangent. 10 and 10, you're talking 20%. You're talking 120 at-bats that are taken off the table because they don't result in a batted ball in play. That's still 480, and that is going to be a lot of chances for BABIP to kill you. But guess what? He also is going to hit for a way better average because he's giving himself those opportunities to get the ball in play. And he's fast as shit, which helps. Life is good. But this is, I mean, Elly De La Cruz has been more impactful for winning this season than Jose Ramirez has been. Period. End of story. In 5 fewer games, better WRC plus, slightly better WAR. Anyway. Let's get a W today. Let's get a lot of W's today. All right. That was fun. That's a fun, I love baseball. Like, it's weird because I never played baseball in any real capacity. And I fell in love with it. Going to LA, then going to Arizona, and just like going to baseball games. Just went to a ton of baseball games. It was cheap to do. Go to Anaheim, go to Chase Field. Like, it was cheap. It was cheap entertainment. And I grew up in South Dakota, and I drove 4 hours to the Metrodome with my dad growing up. Like, we'd go to so many Twins games. Like, we go to like 6 or 7 of them a summer. It's a lot of driving back and forth to Minneapolis for games. We'd go up, go to the game, and drive home. Go up, stay the night, drive home. That's what we did. That was like my dad and I's thing. We loved baseball. My brothers didn't really like baseball. I loved learning about it. And it was kind of nice to be completely disassociated from the athleticism side of it because I didn't understand it. I didn't care. I just had heroes. I had the Kirby Pucketts of the world, the Kent Herbeck when I was a baby. But then that became Paul Molitor. Then that became, God, I don't even want to talk about Joe Mauer, but Joe Mauer ruined the Twins. It's fine. Let's build a new stadium. And oh, dude, Canterbury. I've been to Canterbury. That's where I spent my 18th birthday. Come on now. Love Canterbury. Go play some PLO till the wee hours. I won $2,000 in a poker tournament on my 18th birthday. September 19th. You can all send me a gift. Actually, you won't, because you'll be too busy with week 2 of NFL. And I will be too, for what it's worth. So, sure, M is a baseball player through and through. Yes, he is. He's hard not to like. He's really hard not to like. But it's weird because he had that really down, I remember Cleveland getting loud. It would have been 2023. They got loud. He struggled in the middle portion of that season. And they were talking about his J-Ram cooked. And then he came back and cooked in 2024. Came back and absolutely cooked. 41 stolen bases, useful. 7.9% walk rate with 12% K rate, where he just put balls in play routinely. 537 slugging. I mean, just turned on the afterburners in 2024. But I remember Cleveland talking about, is he done? And it was like, what are we talking about? He's still at a 122 WRC plus. He's just an insane baseball player. Canterbury mentioned, yes, you best believe it. And I saw Waylon Effin Jennings in here too. I'm sure that he's a Canterbury enthusiast as well. Dude, it was fun. And then Prairie Meadows when I was in college. When I was at Iowa State, I'd drive down to Des Moines. Prairie Meadows was the horse track and poker club there. Played there every weekend. Every weekend I was there. It was a good way to, well, everybody else is getting completely effed up at college. I was down there grinding 5-10 limit, 10-20 limit. Did you go over the Cubs weather? Is the ball going to fly today? Yes. Sure is. It's also going to be a little wet. So you got 2 ground ball pitchers. This is a tough conversation. Yeah, it's not going to wash out. I think the game's going to be fine playing. The question is when these cells get up over Chicago, because it is going to be a little dicey. Everything else is fine to me. Like Cleveland, I'm not worried about. Reds game, I'm not worried about. This one, there's definitely a chance of like an in-game delay, which I think would be beneficial. If you're betting home runs, that is. But I'm usually thinking in that direction because of, people's interests. David Peterson, he's got issues. Andre Palante's pitched pretty well. It's hard for me to besmirch too much of what Andre Palante's done. I've taken some over of strikeouts at like 3.5 on Andre Palante in recent weeks, and it's gone well. I don't think it's all that indicative of who he is as a pitcher, because that's never going to be a main facet of why you like him. Yeah, last 2, 11.5% K rate, but not walking anybody. Gotten pretty unlucky, but 3.59 Sierra, 2.64 FIP. Just crazy BABIP and left on, crazy low left on base percentage. That's going to punish you. That's going to actually punish you. But you look at for the season, 4.15 Sierra, he's fine. The thing that's terrifying for me and what I would want to be doing with Andre Palante, he gets a lot of ground balls. A lot of ground balls. Now, this is the career high air percentage for him. Career high fly ball percentage. But they're still pretty low relative to the major league average. 55.8%, 24.2. Like, these are still pretty underneath major league average. So obviously home runs are an interesting bet today because the wind is out in Wrigley, the most wind-affected park in baseball. This is not the pitcher combination that you want on the mound. Limits pulls, limits a lot of barrels. Barrel percentage year over year. That is really good. 7.6% league average. For his career, 4.8. This year, 5.9. You're not getting many absolute bomb skis off of Andre Palante, which is frustrating. And the same thing kind of exists for David Peterson. Despite him not being very good, despite a 4.86 expected ERA, I mean, never had anything sub 4.5. He got off to a hot start last year, and I basically told anybody playing year long, just cut bait. Sell as high as you possibly can. Like, I saw some ridiculous David Peterson trades last year. I mean, some ridiculous David Peterson trades. I guess where is Chicago? Not showing up on this right now. That's weird. Grab another tab quick. Look at his first half last year. It was the biggest outlier bullshit of all time. When you do this every day, you kind of remember little bits and pieces of everybody's seasons. I remember pretty pronounced. You go to, let's go to splits, and let's go to first half of last year. First half of last year, 1.59 whip, but the thing everybody wanted to just go goo-goo, radio gaga over. 3.06 ERA in the first half of last season. 240, 310, 342, 291 WOBA. Ridiculous results in the first half of last season. But despite the best xFIP of his career, 3 points, well, in a while. I guess this is first half, so I can't really even talk absolutes for that. But he was getting a couple more strikeouts, but really people were just, if you're in roto leagues, you're looking at, ERA. Like, you really have all these categories and you have to try to like pinpoint who is doing what. A lot of people went after David Peterson because, he's getting so many ground balls and the ERA is just, you can't miss it. You can't miss it. Well, can you? Are you sure about that? Because he was giving up a lot of pulls and a lot of hard contact. And eventually, the hourglass runs out. And in the second half of last season, that happened. It was hilarious to me. Absolutely hilarious, because people think that results in baseball mean that you pitched well. I think if balls get put in play, look at Jacob Mizrowski yesterday. The most important thing you can do as a pitcher is just not give free passes and walk and strike out everyone. Because if balls get put in play, there are things that can happen in baseball that are very loud. And David Peterson was allowing baseballs put in play and was running very, very, very good in the first half of the season. And not a lot changed other than variance. He still had a 3.82 xFIP in the second half of the season. But a 360 BABIP came along for the ride, a 1.61 whip, the walks went up, and he started getting punished. And now he pitches for the Cubs. This guy that was a can't miss. Oh my God, we finally got the David Peterson. We finally got a season from the Mets in the first half of last year. Not even on the team anymore because he's not that good. He's not. He is not that good. When I talk about sample size being an important thing, in baseball, you have a lot more innings you're going to accumulate for starting pitchers relative to relievers. We're going to have a better outlook of what they're going to be going forward, but at the same time, you get tons and tons of at-bats. I mean, position players, they play in the field every day and they hit every day. A pitcher shows up once every 6, every 7. And loud things are going to happen if you like pinpoint small sections. But the things that are repeatable: getting strikeouts, limiting walks, limiting hard contact. Those are the 3 things you can be in charge of as a pitcher. Some of them are fly ball pitchers, some of them are ground ball pitchers. You want to induce more ground balls, preferably, but guys like Verlander and Scherzer back in their prime, you didn't give a shit that they were fly ball pitchers. You didn't care because they did a lot of the strikeout things and they did a lot of weak contact. So it was good stuff. Australia or Egypt. I looked at that game for a long time. Long time. I almost pulled the trigger on draw. Almost. I mean, man, have I been running hot in World Cup. For as poor as I've been running in the home run streets, I've been running red hot in the goal department. I didn't find any goal scorers that I thought were mispriced. And I've just been using the tools along with like reading about each specific team. And I know a lot of the players because I used to bet a lot of, I used to bet a lot of Premier League. I used to bet a lot of this stuff. I don't have as much time anymore, especially now that I'm on stream for an hour and a half, 2 hours a day with you guys, which hopefully you appreciate. But that gives me 2 fewer hours to be able to devote to betting soccer. And I used to bet soccer a ton. Never did content for it. Just always enjoyed watching it. Also, Sunday mornings, waking up at 6 a.m., 6:30, putting the coffee on, taking the dog for a walk, and just listening to soccer was a lot of fun for me. Started to become familiar with a lot of the EPL teams. Champions League has been really fun the last couple of years. But I mean, we all know Mo Salah. We know a lot of like the ancillary guys on the Australian teams, like the guys who are going to be playing Premier League football for the next however long. Like you can see, I was literally looking at this game before I came on this. So Metcalf is really your main guy on the Australian side. Creates a lot of chances, does a lot of really, really concrete things, plays in a high club. He's a really, really solid creator of chances. Never gonna score all that frequently, but really the catalyst for everything Australia is doing. As for Egypt, we know Salah playing up, 4-2-3-1, sitting here in the middle of 3. I didn't think any of the prices were all that appropriate, but I looked pretty heavily at this. I could see 1-1 being a pretty probable result. A lot better than plus 180 here. I see this going to extra time. If you made me bet anything in this game, that's what I would. I don't think any goal scorer was positive EV looking in the tools, working through the board. Didn't really like any of it. I looked at Egypt first half, didn't really like the price. Yeah, I think we're best off waiting for a little bit later. I got some hot fire coming up later. I got some Morocco love coming up tomorrow. But for today, I mean, Argentina is the biggest favorite of this entire draw. Ghana, Colombia should be interesting. Colombia's, they have way more skill than Ghana. But this is going to be the best game of the day and the most competitive game of the day, I believe. And I think it plays very neutral in the first 90. Like, I think the draw at plus 180 is actually pretty appealing, but I didn't bet it. Stayed away. But I have some hot fire coming tomorrow. Oh my God. I think Canada is in major trouble. I think Canada is in major trouble tomorrow. I am very, very interested in the Morocco side, and minus 125 feels like a gift. It really does. It really feels like a gift. I got C's at 7.5 minus 110. That's still good. That's still good. Australia, Egypt going to be a snoozer. I think it is going to be a little bit of a snoozer, but I think they're both going to generate enough chances that it should be interesting. Egypt to advance over 2.5 goals. I don't see 2.5 there. I mean, he's your most likely goal scorer in the game. Can't imagine you're getting a lot of value there. And I say that knowing full well that I bet the American dude 2 days ago scored and got a red card, and then yesterday ended up on that rando who scored the second goal for Switzerland. Dan, can't even remember the last name, but he played for Newcastle. And I'd seen him around the block. Felt like he was going to get something in space. Just a small little dude, number 11 for Switzerland. And plus 330 comes through and scores a goal for me. Very, very happy. Morocco, yeah, I think we're going to be looking on Morocco. I think Morocco lays the pipe on Canada tomorrow. Canada has just been getting by on smoke and mirrors. And correct me if I'm wrong, the other thing that I think is fascinating about this game, God, I love the World Cup. It's treated me well, and I've been trying to work into it. Canada has fucked themselves so badly by not getting to play through Canada, it can't quite possibly be understated. We are going into a spot where if you are not Canadian, you are cheering for Morocco in that game. It is going to be very pro-Morocco, I think. It is going to be a home crowd Morocco group, because any American in attendance of that game, I bet, coming off of like the gold medal game in hockey, like 4th of July, I'm obviously not putting that into my handicap at all, but I have Morocco closer to like minus 175. I don't see a planet where I'm not hammering Morocco to beat Canada tomorrow. And I'm going to be looking at some alts. I'm going to be looking at some goal scoring. I think Morocco is a classy football team. And I think Canada is lucky to be here. I have not been impressed by them at all this World Cup. They have played some really horrific football. You look at some of their expected goals as well. I mean, they are very much lucky to be where they are right now. This game was just the worst. They needed late magic. I mean, Bosnia-Herzegovina, they played them better. Like, they were the better team in that game. And then Canada put it on Qatar, which you have to do. And then this was just a choke job. Switzerland just brutalized them in the second half. This goal was like 40 seconds into, it was immediately after the half, and nobody was in the seats yet. Everybody was coming back from halftime. It's like, oh shit, oh no. What are you doing leaving your national team to go to the bathroom and just chill? Sit in your damn seat. There's only a World Cup every 4 years. Why are the Canadian people leaving their chairs nonstop? It was like empty in the stands when Ruben Vargas scored. And I think people saw the class that Ruben Vargas is yesterday. That guy creates chances for his team. I don't even think of him as like an elite goal scorer by any means, but boy, can he play on the outside. Boy, can he play on the outside. I love that guy. I'm assuming we're not doing it live tomorrow. I wasn't going to, but I guess if people want to chill, we can do that. Locked in Morocco. Yeah, I can't tell you how much I like Morocco tomorrow. It might be my biggest play of the World Cup so far. And it's been a very profitable World Cup for me. And I've just kind of like half unit here, quarter unit there, half unit there. Don't have more than like 1 or 2 plays on a given day. I might have like 4 from that game, because I am pretty convinced Morocco lays it on Canada. I don't think Canada scores. I don't think Canada has the class to be able to get the ball from Morocco in possession. And I think Morocco is pretty lethal inside the box. Like, I think they have lots of ways to score. And yeah, I am a big fan of Morocco tomorrow. Yeah, they haven't played a good team either. They're playing they played Switzerland. Switzerland's a good team. And that late goal I think inflates maybe their perception there, but like Switzerland's a good team, but they're not the most elite team that's ever walked the earth by any means. I like a lot of what Switzerland does. I've been pretty profitable betting Switzerland this World Cup. What prices seeing that don't account for Morocco slamming? Just the money line, and then also what prices are you seeing that don't account for? But it's minus 125 is just outside of 55%. Like that's not in soccer. We see massive, like look at Argentina. They're minus 2,000 today. Like obviously that's them slamming. Minus 125 is not saying that Morocco slams Canada. That's saying that we think that in 90 minutes of time, it's 55% for them to win. And I think it's closer to 65, 70. To win a regulation, correct. And then I think I might bet them to advance along with a goal scorer. I might parlay some stuff. Again, this might be the nuttiest I get for a World Cup game. I'm very, very excited to hammer Morocco against Canada in Houston. In Houston on the 4th of July. Or in Dallas, sorry. Is it Dallas or Houston? Can't remember. I just know it's in Texas. Anywho, baseball, right? I'll probably get some of those plays up overnight just because, well, I'm going to be traveling and need to get some bets in before I go. So that'll be a good thing to do. But hey, I'm happy to take the kit, do it on the road if people are going to tune in to be able to talk through some baseball. I don't have MLB Lindy, so I don't have any plays already thrown together. Don't have anything that I've already put out on YouTube for people to be able to take in. So it ends up being kind of a standalone show. And if people are going to, want to avoid their family like me or my in-laws like me, I love my in-laws, but also baseball starts at 8 a.m. So I'm getting my ass up and watching that damn game. DC, America. Can you profile Barricado? Sure. So what do you think about Barricado? Because I think people are going a little gaga for a guy that I'm not sure is all that good. Has he had amazing results? Yes, he has. I'll say this too. I do appreciate the fact that he has absolutely no regard for swinging at 3-2 pitches that are way outside of the zone. Like he fights off a lot of trash. But 308, 325, 641. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Go to the minors. Last season, he hit 196, 196, 283 in his 11 games at AAA. This year, his first look at AAA, 299, 355, 449, 804. Yeah, like good, but he plays in Sacramento. And these ballparks in the PCL, Pacific Coast League, are just nuclear. I've covered it how many times? Reno, Albuquerque, Las Vegas, Oklahoma City. It is by far the best scoring league on the face of the earth. Unless there's a league I don't know about that has like elite players in Mexico City where they're playing at 9,000 feet above sea level. The biggest, best scoring league in professional baseball is the PCL and AAA. Because you're getting major league prospects and you're getting 15 runs a game. Because these ballparks are a joke. So I can't, in good conscience, set his baselines here. And in fact, that's where Zips and Steamer do a lot of the job for us. Over the years, there are obviously going to be times that there are outliers. But let me just point this out. He's nearly double the WRC plus than projected coming into this season. given. They didn't give him a chance to really play that many games. He's already to 40 of the 76 or 69 or things of that nature. Zips, I guess, did put him in for a pretty hefty number of at-bats there. But yeah, 17 games, 18 games, September call-ups. Like that was basically what he was slotted for, was like a September call-up. Got called up much earlier because the numbers had been good in AAA. But do you think a 109 WRC plus guy is all of a sudden a 164 WRC plus guy, going from the best scoring league in baseball, in all of baseball, anywhere on earth, to 164 against major league pitching? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say the book will come out on him sooner rather than later. He chases everything. He really chases everything. You watch some of his at-bats. This is maybe being generous. He will not walk at the major league level. And that's a good thing if you're betting his props, because again, you don't get anything for walks unless you're betting HRR and he gets driven in, which behind Barricado, it is pure dustpan sadness. It is Oklahoma, middle of the prairie, no water, no supplies, living off the land, rattlesnakes in your backyard. That's the kind of life. 1884 on the prairie in Oklahoma. .333 ISO at the major league level, 150 here. In the positive category, I'll say this. I like the bat speed. I like the fact that he goes up there and swings with reckless abandon. 74.4 miles per hour is elite bat speed. And that can convert, when you're hitting the barrel of the ball, into some very good things. But I don't think he's that good of a hitter. Maybe I'm wrong. But I tend to be pretty good at reading between the lines. And we ended up getting Feltner instead of, and this is something I talked about last night on MLB Lindy's. They had Sagano listed on MLB.com, and I thought that they would push him back a day. And I thought that they would roll out Feltner. So even though he was the main pitcher listed, Tomoyuki Sagano was, you go over here, and I'm just kind of doing my due diligence night before, working through it, yada, yada, yada. And it would have matched up to be Sagano's day. And I felt like, Feltner's working up still. Are they really going to go with Sagano in this spot and just let him lay out and die? I didn't think so. So I rarely go against MLB.com, but I listed it as the pitcher still, and I talked about it. I was pretty positive Feltner was going to end up starting. And Feltner is obviously the better of the two, in my opinion. Still has a righty problem. Still gives up crazy launch. I've not bet Barricado one time, mainly because I don't find it to be all that repetitive. I don't think he's that good. And again, I tend to be a little bit more pessimistic on prospects that aren't Kevin McGonigal, who I was pretty convinced was going to be incredible immediately. Partially because of plate discipline, partially because, well, squares up the baseball, gets his pitch, understood what to do right from the get-go. So plus 600, if you think Barricado is that dude, if you think he's that dude that came in guns blazing and that he's going to outperform his AAA numbers by this significant of a margin, plus 600 would be positive EV, obviously. I do not feel that way about Victor Barricado. I do not. I want to be pessimistic and then proven wrong and then allow for my numbers to adjust. But I don't think going from single A ball and then seeing the struggles in, very limited sample size last season at AAA. And then only a 150 ISO in space. And now 333 ISO. I think I'm more on the side that he should be a plus 750 type home run number. So he will not be on my card. Hopefully that helps you. This is fantastic stuff, Eric. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you for asking a question that allows for me to kind of like work through the process of what is predictive, because what somebody just did, we don't get paid for. Like, we don't make money off of the thing that already happened. We make money by betting things that are going to happen or hopefully going to happen for us. What are the odds that Barricado hits a home run today? What are the odds that Barricado hits a double today? What are the odds that Barricado strikes out today? What are the, we're attaching odds to all of these things, but we have baselines in place at very, very talented projection sites that we get to use for free online. We get to aggregate data. We get to work on a lot of different things. Look at that game and almost threw up. Both those teams get relegated to the minors, San Francisco and Colorado. I mean, Hunter Goodman, isn't he like top 5 in home runs this season or something? Does he have like 26, 27? Like, he's got a ridiculous amount of home runs. I actually don't know the number off the top of my head, but you can always go to batting leaderboards. This is fun to do from time to time. I haven't done this all year, but second in home runs this season? What in the bloody fuck? Bro, Hunter Goodman has 27 jacks. What the shit? What the shit? That's actually a dumb number. That's actually a very dumb number. And how about this? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in the top 8 with north of 30% K rates. And then you just have Caminero and Alvarez, who are just so insanely valuable. They just don't strike out. They just don't. It's insane to me that you can hit for that much power. And it's like, oh, analytics say that, it's okay to strike out 35% of the time. And, as long as you're hitting 35, 40 jacks. Well, yeah, that is correct. But also, what about these guys like Alvarez and Caminero who are just exponentially more valuable to their baseball team? What is Caminero's AL MVP odds? Hang on. Am I talking myself into this right now? MLB. What if our first bet today is Caminero to win AL MVP? Like, Alvarez can't win because Houston fucking sucks. But let's pull up standings here. Let's talk through this. I might want to put $100 on this. I might want to do this. This might be a fun sweat, depending on what the number is. I don't know what the number is, but they're number 1 in baseball. 51-33. Tampa Bay, just best record in the AL. You got the Dodgers better, obviously. Milwaukee better, makes sense. Braves. But best record, number 1 seed in the AL. Tampa Bay Rays. Eight in a row. Thank you to them. Should probably just keep betting their run line, huh? I did that 2 days ago. That was fun. Didn't do it yesterday because I hate life. Egypt goal. That was quick. Who scored it? Who scored it? Witt's really good at baseball. Witt is incredible at baseball. Also, he struck out with like a 5% K rate to Ian Seymour yesterday, which is just hilarious. On 3 pitches, mind you. in his first at bat. That's how my home run plays have been recently. But keep hitting World Cup goals. Wow. There's a minus 118 on Morocco. Okay. But let's pull this up because I do think this might be a fun deal. Player futures, AL MVP. Not pulling up for me. Does anybody have the numbers? No way. No way he's plus 2,000. No way. No way. He's that big of a favorite over Caminero? What? Houston's 43 and 46. They'd have to really put on the afterburners. He also gets hurt a lot for what it's worth. How is Caminero not generating buzz? 20-1 on Caminero? We have to bet that, don't we? 750 best available. Okay, so it's gotten nuked since 4 days ago. That makes sense because he, I don't know, hit 48 home runs between now and then since June 29th. Let me tell you, 20-1 looks pretty fucking sexy. 750. Now we're kind of like getting into the whole what do you value? And obviously, if we just group this by WAR, PCA, Bobby Witt, Yordan Alvarez, he's going to be further down the board, 14th in WAR. He's tied with Miguel Vargas. Max Muncy of the Dodgers. I mean, the one thing for both Alvarez and Caminero is they don't have good gloves at all. I mean, Alvarez you can put in the outfield if you absolutely need to, but you're DHing him all the time now, especially because you want to protect him for trade value if they're going to pull the trigger there. But like, that might be the real edge. The real edge is Yordan Alvarez getting traded at the deadline to an NL team. I don't know if people know this. Yordan Alvarez was a Dodger prospect. Believed drafted by the Dodgers. Probably don't love that trade in hindsight. Just going to throw that out there. I don't know what it was for or who it was for, whom it was for. But I'm just going to say throwing in prospect Yordan Alvarez can't be a fun thing to read from 10 years ago. Cannot be an enjoyable experience. Under team control till 2029. Yordan Alvarez gets traded to an NL team. That would be hilarious for this market. Sorry, Egypt. What happened? Did they take the goal away? I'm not watching the game. I'm too busy trying to figure out Junior Caminero odds and whether or not I want to fire this. 750 best available at 365. When do I cash out Ben Coles? That's a great question. Those are great questions. Let me pull up my John Deere board too. I just bet a lot of random shit for the John Deere. Sorry, we're not doing a lot of betting today, but I promise I'll get there. We also don't have baseball starting for 4 hours, and I feel pretty good about the card already. God, I've covered soccer. I've covered PGA. Oh, look at me. Look at me. Oh, my God, I bet sports. I'll bet anything. I'm not going to bet the hot dog eating contest other than like the Prize Picks freebie. I'd rather eat paint than watch guys eat hot dogs. Hasn't started yet. God, he's sitting in a good spot, though. Please put up a number today, Ben Coles. How's the early wave been doing? Again, I don't have to cover golf. I just tell people what I bet, and you can tell me. You can also not. I don't care. I do care because I want you betting everything I am because I think I'm pretty good at this, but Poston, Novak. I had a weird card. Weird card this week. Wouldn't be a massive hit by any means to get Ben Coles across, but obviously this is a great spot to be. Jackson Suber. That's not the Jackson, I bet. Can I get a misclick Jackson? Jackson Suber. I knew it was going to be some goober who goes out and wins this week. I almost bet everything north of plus 4,000, but I wanted to get Koivu. Kid's going to be really good. Might take a while. We're just so used to these kids coming up and being automatic immediately. Fowler, he'll still make the cut probably. What's the projected cut line at Data Golf? Pretty heavily favored to be -3. Hey, at least the golf course has got more teeth to it this year than for a while. I mean, they've just been shooting 30 under, it feels like, out there nonstop. Golf course is fighting back a little bit this year. Not a lot, considering it's, 8 under everywhere, but Lucas Glover, highest win percentage right now, 2 under through 2. Fuck that guy. God. But has a chance of pushing to -4. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at everybody that I bet and where they're at relative to it. Normally I favored everybody, but I wanted to get it in. Daniel Berger, that has to be dead money. I felt like when I clicked that button that immediately he was going to die. He's 3 under. All right. So kind of hovering around the cut line, just got going in his second round. So he could play himself into contention. That feels better than it normally does clicking on Daniel Berger's name. My favorite play was Max McGreevy. I almost bet him for a, 0.1, like just still fire it up there, but fell apart at the end yesterday. Fell apart. Nice back 9, bro. Nice back 9. Just kick yourself in the dick next time instead. It'll be more fun. Came out of the gate 3 under through 2, and I was just like, oh, we're going to go low. We ran into a brick wall. Anyway, that was for my own enjoyment. 1-0 Egypt. All right. Still there. I like Bridgman. Yeah. He's pretty darn good. Tailed cord play, Chestnut under 70. I didn't play that. I can tell you I did not play that. I took JT Poston. I hope so. It'd be fun to get, a couple of sweats going from the John Deere. My dad's going to the tournament on Sunday. So he's driving down to the Quad Cities from Sioux Falls for that. So he's going to go watch it Sunday. But I've played that golf course so many times. It's not that easy. I mean, obviously it's changed a lot. They've added some length. They've done some things to potentially make it harder. Sounds like that tournament might be moving to Chicago, which would be a little annoying because I do like TPC Deer Run a lot. I like the short par 4 on the back 9. I like 17 being an eagle opportunity. I always love short par 4s. Well, I guess there's 3 things that I always want to see that number 17 is at every golf course. I want a short par 4. I want a scoreable par 5, or I want a really cool par 3. I just don't want 490 par 4s. And like, I always think that's pretty stupid. Second to last hole, build excitement of your golf tournament. You want a birdie opportunity, you want a double opportunity. Like, those are fun. Or in the case of number 17 to John Deere, make eagle or make 5 that feels like a 7. Like, you make par at 17, you feel like an idiot. I remember 3-putting that one time when I was like 3 or 4 under, and I was like, well, I'm going to go cry now. And I hit it in the water on 18 and I think I shot 70. That was fun. Wanted to jump in the creek, wanted to jump in the water. How do you feel about Stowers for a home run? Obviously, this ballpark is awesome, and I love my boy Stowers. I think he's #good at baseball. I think it's pretty predictive to look at him and know that he's going to be one of those guys who hits for a lot of power with a lot of lovely loft. I mean, you take strikeouts off the board and you're in trouble. Now, Jack Perkins can strike out a lot of people. Hang on one second. I got to go run in to help out with my dog quick. 1 second. Holy mother of God. Packing for 2 days. You would think it was like we were going to Paris for a month or something. Dude, we don't need that much shit. We need t-shirts. We need clothing for the baby. We need our traveling changing table, and we need sanity. That's what we need. That's what we need. And Duke needs to not freak out at all the suitcases. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going for 2 days. 2 days, Duke. 2 days. Anyway, I love my wife. I do. I love her very much. I also love doing this show and being able to talk through process of stuff. Duke's good. He's good. He's just a little excited. He thinks we're leaving without him. Anytime the suitcases come out, he gets a little antsy. And when you got a baby around too, your wife's packing shit up. I was like, well, I'm not going to take him out here. I'm on stream with my friends. I'm betting. She goes, I do not give a shit. Figure your dog out. So got him in the garage. He's out there in the air conditioning. He has the soccer game on now. So he's happy. He's happy. He's good. All right. We have obviously a good game environment. He's been elite against lefties. Go back to last year, he had a cup of coffee, but still kind of the same thing. Strikes out lefties at a redonkulous clip for a righty, and it's usually by way of the changeup because most things are. There is some loft up there, and you get a fastball, you can do some damage with that, but the changeup is so good. Kyle Stowers against a changeup might be, I mean, there's this is like short bus candidate, but this is like not exactly good. I don't love it against Perkins. I'd his break even pretty high. Find it. It's like 380. Yeah, this is obviously not a play. Bark twice. Duke. That's funny. Does Ohtani get smacked around today? I don't think so. Long ball jackpot for Fanatics play. Yeah. So this one I think is kind of interesting. I think it's an interesting promo today because we've got Wrigley wind out. There's a little bit of rain and it's started to mitigate. Some of the weather, it's not as good as what it was earlier in the day. And it's also much cooler there today. I obviously love all of my lefties against Keller. So James Wood definitely goes in that category, but he's going to be pretty popular. I got a guy that will not be very popular for you. I got a guy that I think is very live to hit an absolute moonball. Moonball today. You want to try to get a little bit off the board. And I didn't bet this guy, but I'm just thinking of power and what is going to be popular and what is not. These Baltimore numbers against Singer are a little short for my liking, but I'm not seeing a lot of conversation about Blaze Alexander. Blaze Alexander is smashing baseballs. I've talked about him multiple times on this program, just from he is nuking the baseball environment. And another thing about the long ball jackpot, if you're shopping for odds, I would not play Blaze Alexander standard at Fanatics. I would not. He's better priced at Hard Rock. 625 at Bet365 is where I would play this. But I mean, I don't think Blaze Alexander gets any attention. And against righties, it hasn't been as pronounced as what it's been against lefties. That's pretty typical. But Brady Singer giving up some moonballs to lefties, obviously. The lefties are super short. I think a lot of these guys might end up being somewhat popular for that promo. Gunnar Henderson, even a Pete Alonso. But I just want to point out, every single time I'm caught by surprise that Blaze Alexander is as high up amongst hard hitters in baseball as what he is. I'm always a little surprised. So we're just looking at straight up exit velocity. And we're looking at like more on the max side. Drake Baldwin has the longest homer in baseball this year. I don't know. That Caglione one that they said was 420 in Tampa, that thing went 500 feet. That was absolutely a ridiculous lie. Either he broke StatCast or something stupid happened there. But like Kobe Mayo won't be in the lineup more than likely. And these Baltimore guys are playing in a nuclear ballpark. It just feels like I want to get off the board in a way where I can try to limit the number of people that are potentially going with me here. And let's update this. Let's just look at Baltimore. Blaze Alexander, second. Hasn't really hit a long one yet. I can't imagine people are clicking on him at all for a promo like that. Generally, I'm looking for guys who are not projected to be in a lineup or are like a backup catcher that ends up in a lineup that you don't expect, because then people just aren't clicking on those guys. That's what I looked at for the DK promo, King of the Diamond. Like, that's the kind of stuff I like. You know, your grand salami where you have a lot of batters in front of you. You have a chance of having the bases loaded for you in an unlikely way. People click on leadoff hitters, which I think is pretty silly. Because your 6, 7, 8, 9 all have to like probably be on base. That's asking a lot out of your worst hitters to be set up there. But that's a different promo, different thing. The wind is our friend with the long ball promo. Yeah, Josh Bell is expecting closer to 2K. 878 is pretty good. That's pretty good on that. I thought Josh Bell, I mean, he murdered that baseball. Man, he murdered that. Was that Burrows? Was that Burrows Day? And then we bet Twins against... I've had a pretty good gauge on the Twins. I don't know what to do with that game today. I had Garrett Cole out. I think Garrett Cole's the kind of pitcher who can kind of artificially get through our Twins lineup as it's currently constructed. No Buxton in there probably makes him feel pretty good. I don't know. I looked at Ryan Kreidler again for a homer. He's playing every day now with Buxton dinged up. Really short number on Kreidler. And Garrett Cole has given up some power to righties still. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy by any means, but more than you would expect from Garrett Cole. Just a tiny bit more power to the right side. Doesn't strike him out as high of a clip going back then. And same thing here. Striking out lefties at a higher clip than righties. All of it in the air against righties. I don't know. I thought it was a very short number on Ryan Kreidler. I was expecting when I pulled it up plus 700 and I was going to auto click it. Yeah, that didn't happen. That did not freaking happen. I mean, all the Twins really are pretty short. Josh Bell, 350. Clemens is a joke. Clemens is an actual joke. This is what I mean by the home run board can be difficult at times, because obviously these are good game environments with likely home runs, but they're priced very likely. They're not, there's no hiding from it. Not bad to see hold of 1.7% in the home run market. We have an under a 330 at Bet365 and a 321 available to us. That's not too bad. Like, this is actually pretty close to in play. Antonacci, hey, it's the boy Antonacci. I don't know if anybody saw I got pinch hit for in the last at bat. That was weird. Didn't he go yard to lead off that game? I can't remember. I know Chase Mydroth went yard at like 1,500 or some shit. Anywho. Yeah, it's a fun promo simply because you're thinking about, I'm thinking at least about guys that are not getting the kind of love, that haven't necessarily hit any nukes yet, that should be hitting more nukes. Kobe Mayo, if he were to make that lineup, looks insane to me for that promo. Absolutely insane. Look how many Pete Alonso 128, 95 plus mile per hour hits. Seems good. Seems good. Get him out of Baltimore. God, why he picked Baltimore? Ugh. Getting us good plays daily. Good stuff. Appreciate it. Oh, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. What do you focus on besides Park? Everything. Matchup, bullpen, handedness, strikeout rate I care about because I want balls in play. Price probability. The price is the most important thing. Long ball. If you can pick the right park, narrows the things down to a handful of players. I think the ballpark's irrelevant to some extent. Like, the game environment matters more, but you're just looking for a ball to go as far as possible. And generally speaking, you would think Coors Field would be the place you'd want to do that because you routinely get 440, 450 there. Like, it still plays up for home runs in Major League Baseball, and it's got the largest park dimensions, but you're getting thin air. So I would argue, if you can pick the right park, it's more just picking the right game environment and saying, all right, there's this. But for the promo in general, what you really want is you want to try to find somebody that is not getting clicked on as much as they should. Undervalued. Just like in DFS, when somebody's, got a 50% chance of being optimal, but a 40% chance of doing the thing, you still might end up clicking on them because, it's likely. But most of the time in DFS, if somebody 20% chance of being optimal, but they're only 10% owned, that's going to be somebody you play heavily. It's kind of like that, where, this guy is not getting clicked on as much as he should. For the NBA promo, when it was like Luka Doncic in the evening window, it's like, well, fuck, you're fighting an uphill battle, or, Wemby is facing like a small 5. Lindy, I like how much you make my girl laugh when your videos are playing. Hell yeah, bro. The ladies like me. Oh, you like me. Dude, I have no idea when my wife's with me, but it's fine. I'm chill sometimes. I'm cool. It was Wednesday for Antonacci, not yesterday. Yeah, Mydroth went yard yesterday. The fuck? Owen Casey, good example. He hit for 1,137. Masher playing in Colorado. Exactly. That's the shit you're looking for. That's the shit you want. But I'm simply looking at that because I'm looking at Cincinnati purely because it's 1,000,000 degrees. Sorry for a fantasy question. You're just fine. Today, I'm just kind of letting it rock. I mean, we've talked golf. We didn't talk glizzies because I'm not going to talk glizzies tomorrow. I'm not the glizzy guy. We're not talking glizzies. I don't watch guys shovel, phenol things in their mouth. That's not going to be my job. That we're not going to go to those extremes to gamble. There's enough baseball on TV. I don't have to. We talk soccer. We talk PGA. Might as well talk a little fantasy of the thing that I'm actually here to do, baseball. Sorry for fantasy question. Put this towards a home run parlay. Do I trade off Schlittler for Muncy, Keishel, having Burns, Ashcraft, Meyer, Brown? So a couple questions. One, what style of league? Is it head-to-head? Is it weekly head-to-head? Does having more games on a given week matter? Because Keishel is pretty irrelevant in that trade. Obviously, Schlittler had one bad outing, and the stuff looks better. Stuff looks better than that would have led you to. You have Burns, Ashcraft, Meyer, and H. Brown. I mean, how much does Muncy change the equation for you? Because Keishel doesn't have a lot of roto interest. Weekly head-to-head, okay. I can't imagine you'd want to be playing Keishel in any capacity other than on weeks where he's playing the most games. If it's just stat accumulation, if it's the average of the week, then, I mean, he has zero utility for you. And Muncy at third. What are you playing at third right now for Muncy? Does he have first base eligibility in your league? So there's a lot of things there. More than likely, you just roll with Schlittler. The guy is still top 3 in AL Cy Young odds, and it feels a little reactionary coming off of a blow up, but I will say this. It's going to be hot and humid in New York going forward. Summers are always difficult for Yankees pitchers, and then September comes around, and they can really be playoff winners when it gets to fall weather. If we can get a couple of 60, 65-degree days around the playoff time. It's hard for me to know. I can't look ahead to weather in September, but I can tell you traditionally, I'm thinking about stuff like that a lot more than other people are. I'm thinking a lot about what are the weather conditions, what are the matchups in the last couple of weeks, because some people have really easy schedules in the last 2-3 weeks, like depending on when your playoffs are. Usually it's like a week before the season ends. So you're talking like the third week of September. Hey, happy birthday to me. But like, I think I've traditionally in leagues, I'm co-managing a lot of leagues now. I don't run anything by myself. I don't have time to run everything by myself anymore, but Keishel is irrelevant. He's never going to be a top 5 hitter for Minnesota. He won't ever work into the top 5. There's a world where he gets hot and gets up to a 2-hole for a day if they're resting other guys. But like Brooks Lee has done enough where with a switch hitting profile, he's just not going to, like Keishel doesn't have upside for a lot of at-bats any given week other than on weeks where the Twins play 6 games. So he's irrelevant. Muncy, how much do you need third base? Because Burns and Ashcraft are very, very good. I love Max Meyer, obviously a great ballpark. And come playoff time, you can just pin me for loving guys who are pitching in places like Miami, like Tampa Bay. These indoor places where I can know what I'm going to be getting out of them. I know if Max Meyer is healthy and he's pitching in Miami, I don't care who he's facing, I'm probably getting a really good head-to-head look. Probably getting a really good starting pitching option for playoff time. And Hunter Brown obviously is the most talented of all. Well, Chase Burns is more talented. Ashcraft's had better results to some extent. Obviously, Hunter Brown's been out forever. But how much do you need third base? Because I think his trade value should be higher than just Muncy. Keishel is irrelevant to me. As much as I hope he ends up being good, he has no utility on my fantasy baseball team. So I hope that helps. Really, really, really look within you. Schlittler will not be a massive 10, 11 strikeout guy. Maybe you're able to flip it to somebody who, like a Gavin Williams or somebody who has massive, massive upside if the right spot lands later in the year in weeks you really need to win. But yeah, it's going to be more difficult for Schlittler in the summer than what it was for him in New York in April and May when it was very cool, wind was in, life was a lot better for pitching. Heliot Ramos, been asking since 2 p.m. It's okay. I just literally jump into the chat and pull up whatever shows up in front of me at that moment. But Heliot Ramos. I'm assuming home run market. I'm assuming you're not asking me about anything other than home runs on that. 450's in play, beating Penny by a while. 404, pretty thin. Pretty thin at 404. I've got him. Let me pull this up. I haven't pulled up my data the whole time we've been on here. Yeah, I've got that negative EV. I would not play Heliot Ramos. I'm assuming his HRR 2.5. I've got it at, I've got fair odds of going over at plus 107. I can't imagine we're getting a price that's advantageous. I'd have to be getting plus 110 or better to have that be something remotely interesting. I don't think we're getting that. I think it is dead in that dead zone. That dead hold zone. 2.5, 110 on the dot. That is disturbing. Technically 3 cents of positive EV there, but man, is that in the dead zone. I think it's a little thin. Do I think he smashes? Probably. You don't see a lot of 2.5s lingering out there daily. I mean, you do today because of how good the weather is. Weatherholt, James Wood. I mean, more 2.5s than you will see any given day. You go to Kurtz, you go to Langoliers, all these guys sitting at 2.5s. But it doesn't make Heliot Ramos a good play at that number. Jake Bennett over 15.5 looks intriguing. I've been looking at it. Is there a reason you don't target unders that much on sites like PrizePicks and Underdog? Depends what market you're talking about, because I had a lot of interest in under 5.5 strikeouts for Trevor Rogers, and it's gone. I like stacking up fantasy points because, one, PrizePicks tends to undervalue them, even from a median projection standpoint. And then two, you get such high correlation, and it's probably the only site that doesn't ding you as much as they should for correlation. Underdog sure does. Underdog surely does. But if you're playing 6 individual plays that you price out at minus 135, you've got a positive EV card on PrizePicks, no question about it. But there's no doubt if you can correlate and it dings you by 2 or 3 to make it plus 2,200, as long as you're still getting 2x on the 5 of 6 and 0.4x on the 4 of 6, that remains valuable in pricing out the card. And if I get dinged from 25x, so plus 2,400, to like 23x plus 2,200, but I get correlating on 3 batters together in a positive game environment, or in a situation where if one guy's fantasy score goes up, again, if I'm able to correlate HRR or fantasy score together, my right tail extends a lot further than the left tail. And there's going to be an opportunity for you to win more money long-term on things that are already positive expected value. Even if you price them at minus 125, if you can play the 3 together. So what I tend to do, it's not me saying I'm looking at overs and I'm looking at unders. I'm looking at correlation. I like correlating, and I like correlation relative to the payout a lot more, taking some of those overs in fantasy points and HRR. That's why you see me with more of those than you do unders that are just flat out. Again, Trevor Rogers, I would have played it under 5.5 strikeouts on PrizePicks if it was still up. I looked at Tyler Phillips under 15.5 outs. I think that's still available. I think that that's a really good pick'em square. So it's not that I care. I don't care if it's over or under, but what happens is the correlation component of it tends for me to feel good about that. Also, when I'm looking at lineup order, I generally am looking for guys who have undervalued lineup order where they could move up to a certain place, or like we talked about it with Otto Lopez on this program last week. We sniped a really good bet where I said every projected lineup is wrong. They had him in the 5 hole, and I was convinced he was going to bat second. Every projected lineup we looked at, Fantasy Labs, Fangraphs, RotoWire, everybody had him projected to bat 5th. He hit second. Like, that's obviously going to be a play on an over. Thank God he got there for us. Total bases is what we played that on. But anyway, I don't care if it's over or under. I just care about getting good bets in. And it just seems like in baseball, you're able to capitalize on some of those lineup order inefficiencies. Michael Conforto today, I thought, man, there's a lefty that basically can't pitch today. There's only one lefty available in the pen for St. Louis. That bodes well for Michael Conforto. So I took an over. Again, not caring about if it's over or under. Just, we've taken Aaron Nola strikeouts how many times on this program? Multiple. Zach Gallen, been pretty heavily on his unders in the strikeout department. I have no lord to the over or the under. It just seems as though I've found more value on the overs in recent weeks. So, And one-way market, like when we're looking at home runs, people don't want to be laying minus 500 to win, 500 to win 100. I totally understand that. It's why we pretty much exclusively deal with home runs to the over. I talk about, hey, maybe you want to post this. Talked about that with Kyle Schwarber in that series against the Pirates. Thought he had ridiculous numbers, untenable numbers. It's like this guy strikes out a ton against Skeens, against Ashcraft. What are these numbers? But anyway, Tyler Phillips. Let's see if he's still there. Yeah. Under 15.5 minus 108. Sitting at 15.5. That's it's a little something. Because there's 16.5 out there now. I looked at it. Better bet would be a better bet than it is a play. I know he's gone 6-7 his last two. I don't care about that. He's pitching in Sutter Park, and Miami, for all intents and purposes, coming off of a Coors series, you never feel good about your bullpen most of the time coming off a Coors series. They haven't utilized Peterson, Fairbanks, or Bacher. This has been revelatory for them, but Peterson and Fairbanks have been flat out good this season. I guess Fairbanks not. That's kind of wild. He is literally their safe guy. 6.84 year. What in the world? Did he just get completely bludgeoned here recently? Had to have gotten just completely bludgeoned, because that is way higher than it was like a week ago when I looked. But the point is, the bullpen is somewhat intact. You're kind of looking at that outside of a Coors spot, and they get Kempner there. They used, I can't say that last name. Berzicki? Maybe it's easier to just say. I've said it the same way 3 times in a row. But anyway, the point is, their bullpen's actually in pretty good standing, and they go get a guy from AAA to come out and potentially eat up in an inning or two today. I don't think they need any length out of Phillips. I don't think it's required. There's been some spots recently where they were pretty used up. Preferred Tyler Phillips got them some innings and pitched very well for what it's worth, but not that good. Yeah, we're trying to predict the lineup. We're always trying to find stuff like that. Doesn't always pop up, but Aranda 2 hits is plus 250. That's a bet. No way. Is he really? They're the road team, right? They're in Houston. Is that real? I mean, I can just tell you from having priced that market out and not betting it like ever, that's a wild number. Oh, yeah. Daddy needs a new bicycle. What a great shout out. Against Spencer Arrighetti, my boy. Just like I expected, Jonathan Aranda total hits. First play that we would make on this program. Why wouldn't it be? What a great shout out. I love our chat. Thank you for getting me on track, Justin. Gonna wait for lineup and then smash the 3 and 4 batters. For who? For whom? Arrighetti, 2 or 3 sins today. Multiple sins. He is a sinner. He is a sinner. He is Yannick Sinner, except for not as good at tennis. I guess Sinner is a sinner coming off of, heat stroke in France or whatever the shit happened during the French. Man, we tried to look at AL MVP on the board here, not popping up at the moment. Anything else I really wanted to do with you? Jared Young, that's low for a hit. Luke Raley plus 135. Holy shit. My boy is falling apart. My boy is falling apart. Do we get that Orioles lineup? I want that Orioles lineup very, very badly. Who is in that Orioles lineup? They're kind of stacked with talent now that everybody's healthy and back. Just going left. Right in the middle of this thing. Just begging relievers to come in. I guess Tyler O'Neill did hit a home run, so I guess he has a pulse again. But yeah, here's my Luke Keeschel thing. This is my Luke Keeschel problem. Luke Keeschel has a lot of ways to get on the field. He doesn't have a lot of ways to hit up higher in the order. It's not a lot of meat on the bone. He'd have to really go ballistic. You'd have to have Brooks Lee really, really struggle or get hurt. It would take a lot for Luke Keeschel to get back into the top 3 for my Twins. I mean, he was batting third, correct me if I'm wrong, at the beginning of the season. Luke Keeschel was our 3-hole guy, which is wild. Her name is Chastity. She is white trash. Jake Bennett. Somebody wanted me to look at his outs, so we can do that. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at plus 115. Where do I have it? I did a lot of this shit last night. My God. Yeah, you could play it. Minus 110, closer to where I have it. Should we snipe that? I'll join you in that escapade too. Shout out chat for getting me invested today. Not going crazy on anything on the program. Not going crazy. I for sure don't need to add any home runs. I can tell you that much. Daddy needs a new bicycle. I don't think $25 is going to get me a new bicycle, but maybe $30 will. Plus money. It's like $28, but it's fine. Let's see what we got so far. Give you guys a little bit of a recap here. We've been live for 2 hours on the 3rd of July. Independence Day Eve, if you will. Anyway, let's recap this. These are all good things. And obviously, July 40% off a month of the Lindy and Friends Discord down below at the link. Good stuff. Thank you, Bill Pullman, for your amazing contributions to this program. Jake Bennett added that. Over 15.5 total outs. What a great snipe. Jonathan Aranda, 2 hits. Could not love that more. That is obviously positive expected value. Well, so from a top-down perspective, it is definitely that from a bottom-up perspective. So shout out you in the chat for such things. Michael Conforto added that one. Let's have this be a normal run-of-the-mill type day. Let's just capitalize on some CLV. Definitely play this at even money still. Definitely play that at even money. Bryce Terang, JMLK's favorite player. That's what I heard. Bryce Terang, plus 780, just fine for me over on DK as well. Reed Detmers, this number doesn't exist anymore. The limit, it doesn't exist. That's Mean Girls. That's from Mean Girls. We got New York and Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. Probably my most negatively CLV'd thing in forever. So shout out me for sucking at life. I get it. Christian Scott's fine. Dylan Cease. There we go. That's more like it. Daddy needs a new bicycle. That's what I need. Vroom, vroom. It's probably my moped. Sal Stewart. I don't have a moped. Plus 440. Absolute smackaroony. Feel good about that. Spencer Steer. Absolute close to a smackaroony. 475 at Profit X. Somebody is high. So that's cool. You can take advantage of their highness. Luis Garcia. I like it at 420 still. Speaking of highness. CJ Abrams. 450. Oh, daddy needs a new bicycle. Please go yard. CJ Abrams. James Wood. Oh, Honey Bear. Honey Bear. Honey. Bear needs honey. Bear needs honey. And that does it so far for what I've got down. Going to get some more bets. Going to get some pick 'em out there for the people as well. You can partake, as I said, July 40. That is down below. And, of course, check out the tools here at Odd Shopper. Baby Lindy 50. 2+ hour stream in the books. Obviously, I was gone for like 5 minutes of it because my dog was yelling, but he's being a good boy. He's perfect. Duke is perfect. So is Lila. Baby Lindy 50. 50% off your first week or month. 7-day free trial down below as well. All right. I'm going to be TBD for tomorrow. It's going to have to be a game time decision. So GTD actually is what I am for tomorrow for the research show. Not sure, but I'm definitely going to be getting bets down early in the morning. I might have to do this show super early in the morning, like before that Pittsburgh-Washington game, because, yeah, got places to go, things to do. It's going to be wild, but it's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. You are loved. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for kicking it with me. Perfect 76 code not working. Well, it's because it's not a code for this. I'm not sure what that's a code for, but July 40 is a code and Baby Lindy 50 is a code. And anyway, Murica. See you guys later. This was fun.